Hey guys, what is up? It's Joe here again, and I decided I was going to bring you a totally beginner's guide to Redstone, starting from the most basics to a little bit more complex circuits and things you can use them for. I've set up a whole line of things that I'm going to show you. Alright, let's get started. So, first I'll show you signal strength. Redstone lines can only carry a signal for so long, so they go for about 15 blocks, exactly 15 blocks, but the 16th block can be powered. So as you can see, these are repeaters. They're triggered by the redstone, but if I go any further, they're off. But what I can show you is that the 16th block, if I were to get a lamp, the 16th block can be powered because this has power. So basically, yeah, redstone can power things that it touches. It can power other repeaters. That's about it for that. Alright, so we'll go over repeaters now, which are these redstone repeaters. So as I showed you before, redstone signals can only go for so long. But if you put a repeater somewhere, it turns the signal up again to full strength here, and then it can keep going all the way out, and then you can throw another repeater in. You can put repeaters anywhere you want, so you can put them there. Repeaters also have another very special property, is that they can be ticked to add delay to them. Right now it's on 1 tick, 2 ticks, 3 ticks, 4 ticks. So I'll show you a demonstration here. When I flick this lever, this one turns on 1 tick before that one, and then it turns off 1 tick before that one. If I were to change this to 2 ticks, this turns on 2 ticks after, this was on 2 ticks before, same thing there. 3 ticks, you can see the delay very clearly there, and then you can especially see it here. Repeaters can be placed back to back, so you can make very long delays. So you can see there, you can see it going down the line. And this is useful for, first of all and foremost probably, extending signals, and also delays are very useful. Alright, so here's different ways that you can toggle redstone current. The first one is a button. You can see you press the button, redstone goes on. Switches can power things underneath them. So lever, also you see how this one gets powered because it's right underneath it. Block goes back, and then when you power something, it starts off with a full signal, so it can go 15 blocks. There are also pressure plates. There's a wooden pressure plate, a stone pressure plate, an iron weighted plate, and a gold weighted plate. These two ones you can just stand on, and you can see they turn on the redstone around them, and it also turns on the lamp beneath it, which you can see there. These two are different in that the stone one, the wood one here, can sense items, and the stone one cannot. That's their only difference, pretty much. Now here are the weighted pressure plates, and honestly, I haven't really seen these used like ever, but they're gonna be part of the video anyway. So we're gonna throw that stuff away, and we'll take these for the gold one, and they can be any item. They don't have to be gold. And we'll take these for the iron one. So the gold pressure plate is gonna go. It's gonna increase its signal every 4. Oh, it came off. Every 4 items. So as I keep throwing items on there, you can see the signal's getting stronger, and now it's all the way out here. Now with the iron one, it senses items in stacks. Every stack it goes up, and it had 1, so it starts with 1, and then the completing of the stack brings it to 2. We throw a couple item stacks on there, and actually get them on the pressure plate, which would be nice. There we go. It goes farther out. That one's not on it, but you get the idea. There are also redstone torches, which can be placed. They're not toggleable. You put one down, goes on, take it away, goes off. There are redstone blocks. You get that there. These are cool because they can get pushed by pistons, which I will show you next. There's also a trapped chest. Let me show you these. If I go here, you have a trap chest, and you have a chest. Here's a normal chest. Here's a trap chest. They can be placed next to each other, which is really cool. The difference is that the trap chest has this slightly red ring around the front, and when you open it, it'll let out a redstone current of it's only one strength, so you need to have a repeater there, and then from there you can send that out to other places. So if I open this, you can see that goes on. Hold on. The last way is through tripwires. These are pretty cool. It's tripwire hooks here and string here, so when you walk over it, it'll trigger the redstone. Oh, there's also daylight sensors, which I forgot about. And the signal changes depending on what time of day it is. So right now it's, I don't know, almost noon. And if I do time set night, you can see this signal is not nearly as strong. It goes down to here, and then as it gets darker and darker out, it'll go back down to just being, I think, no signal at all. Okay, so now for pistons. There are two types of pistons. There is a normal piston and a sticky piston, and I'll show you the difference. To start off, this is a normal piston here. Piston can push 12 blocks. So you see it pushes all 12 of those blocks and pulls nothing back. If you put another block in there, it can't do that. So I'll put a block there, we'll take that out, and then you can push that again. Pistons can push most blocks, but they cannot push obsidian. So if you see this here, it'll push it, but then if I get, oh, I lost the obsidian. If I get obsidian, it cannot push it. Pistons can also push other pistons. So if you do this and then that, it'll push it, and then you'll close them and they just stay there because they're not pulling each other. Alright, so now here is a sticky piston. You'll push it out, and then it'll pull the block it's touching back, and only that block. So if you push it out again, it's only going to move that block. With sticky pistons, you can actually do a pretty cool thing where you can push them out 2 blocks, and then you can pull them in. And to do this, you need to have the first piston, and it needs to be on a longer delay than the first one. It needs to go off first. And this is because pistons cannot pull or move pistons that are already extended. So if I were to switch this around, so this one is toggled first, it's not going to be able to pull this one because it's already extended. See that? But if you switch them, pull it back. And this is kind of just demonstrating the same concept here. If you have 2 pistons pushing against each other, it doesn't explode like it did in the old pistons mod. It just doesn't do anything. Alright, so here are all of the different blocks that can be, I guess, toggled by redstone. So if you flick the switch, you can see you have a wooden door, an iron door, a sticky piston, whoops, a hopper, which I'm not going to talk about in this video. I'll make a second video later about hoppers and comparators. A dropper, which drops things instead of shooting them like a dispenser would. A redstone lamp, dispenser, normal piston, gate, and a trapdoor. So now we're going to go over some redstone physics, some very simple physics. As I showed you before in the beginning, you can have this power the redstone underneath it. And redstone can also power blocks, like just normal blocks, and then those blocks can power other things. So you see here when I turn this on, the current goes into the block and through here, and the block also powers the piston. However, if you have a block here and redstone there, it doesn't do anything because this block is powering this block, and it only gives off 1 block of signal. And since this one doesn't have a direct power signal to it, I guess, it can't power this second block, which is technically a full block on top of it. Redstone cannot pass through glass or other transparent blocks like leaves, so you'll just hit it and nothing will happen. Normally, we're going to start over here first. If you have a signal here and it's blocked by a block like that, doing nothing here, it'll won't do anything because the block blocks the redstone. But if you go over here, and glowstone is considered a transparent block, you can place glowstone on that actually. I mean redstone. You can't put it on glass. So if I were to do it here, it actually goes through the glass, not through it I guess, but it doesn't split it because it's transparent. And then here it'll do the same thing. And this here is with the glowstone is very unique actually. I'm just remembering this now because you can split one signal into two without having to go around or anything. It makes making things much more compact and makes it easier. Actually, let me show you this here. If you have a torch on a block and it's on, and you power that block, it'll go off. And so basically, when we come over here and talk about logic circuits, logic gates rather, I can show you the inverter, which is basically the exact same thing as that. I'm just telling you a concept here. When you turn this one off, this turns on. When you turn this on, this turns off. Here you have an AND gate. This works, it's an AND gate, so you need both this one, this input, and this input for this to turn on. If only one of them is on, then this one is still off. You can't do anything about that. So you turn them both, and this goes on. Here you have an OR gate, which is really simple. Either one can be on this one or that one. It's basically just a block with two separate inputs into it. So either one you press turns it on. Here is a T flip-flop. And what this does is it turns a button, which is usually just it's a very short pulse. What am I doing? There you go. Get one of these. I'm sorry. So you do that, and it only goes on for a little bit. What this does is it keeps that on. So every push switches it. And I'll show you how to build that really quick because it's very simple. Alright, so you're going to want to go, let me make it daytime. 2 blocks up, like this, torch here, torch, torch, piston, hole under right there, torch, block, torch. And because redstone can power blocks, as you can see, that torch is powering the block that was there, and then it powers that. So every time you power this redstone on top, it moves that, and this flips off here. Alright, okay. Here you have a RS NOR latch gate, which has one input to start off with, and you press it once, and you're going to see this flip over here. Press it once, it flips, so now this one's on and this one's off, and now every time you press this, nothing's going to happen. In order to flip it back, you need to press another button over here, which is going to flip it. I'll show you how to build that. That's really simple as well. Block, block, torch, torch, and then you run this one into that block, this one into here, button, button. So you press this one, goes off, that one, and it flips again, right? Here are monostable circuits, which takes a pulse of a button, which is, or a lever. Button's still pretty short, but it makes whatever the pulse is very short. And it doesn't matter what the original length is. It's going to make it all the same length. So I'll show you how this works. Watch that over there. Press the button. It only goes on for a very quick second over there. See that? And even if I turn the lever on, only goes on for a second. And what you're looking at over here is a piston glitch that I noticed. And if I hope this doesn't confuse you, because it's kind of off topic, I guess. But here you have a sticky piston, which should push the block out and pull it back in. But because the pulse is so quick, when you touch it, it pushes it out and leaves it there. It doesn't pull it back. So you can take advantage of that. And then when you pull it out, when you push it again while it's off, it pulls it back in. So watch. Just watch the redstone block over there. And so that's basically another version of the T flip-flop that I built down there for you. Here's another version of a monostable circuit. This one is actually 1 tick longer than this one. This is the quickest one. Oh my god, I keep breaking things today. So this does not work with this here. I'll show you how to build both of these in a second. See how the redstone goes on for just a second. Okay, so here's how you build them. You have a piston there. Get a repeater. Block. There's your output. Here's your input. We're gonna make it a lever. And this one here goes on 1 tick. And what this does is, alright, so the redstone goes through here and it powers both of these blocks here, right? This one powers 1 tick later than this one, so this one has time to pass through. So this signal length here is on for 1 tick. And then once this one turns on, it pushes it out and breaks the signal. So if you watch from up close, see how the piston turns on a little bit after. I hope that makes sense. This one's a little bit more complicated, and it's one wide. So you have a block here, a block there, here, repeater on. Click it twice. Repeater, torch. Then you run redstone along the top. And then you put that there. And you can see, when you flick it, it just goes on for a second. So I'll show you a little something I made. It's very simple. I don't think I'm gonna give. Don't have time to give you a tutorial for it. I don't know how long this video is right now. Actually, it might be too long. So we'll do this very quick. It's a simple. I kind of built this just for fun. You see this here, nothing to go through, but you press this hidden button over there. Lights go on, door opens. You come back over here, and the door closes, and the lights over here go off. Here's how it works. The button is over here, goes into here, into this T flip-flop, which goes here, and does this thing. Oh, I need to show you this. I'm gonna end on this. You basically, I'm not gonna explain this, but I need to show you this one thing. If you have a vertical line of these, you can do some really cool things. You can make vertical redstone wire pretty much. So you see how they're all gonna flip. So you basically just made the redstone go from there to there, and that can go infinitely. So I'll show you the door again real quick. Open it up, press the hidden button, and you're good. And this is good for like hiding your secret chest room or whatever on servers and whatnot, and it also looks pretty cool, I think. So thanks for watching. If you want more tutorials, comment what you want and I will make them. Thank you.